Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse and to another Warehouse interview. Tonight, I would like to welcome Danney Alkana to the show. Danney is a Southern California guitarist, noted for blending hard rock and neoclassical fusion. He started the band Alkana in the late 70s. They put out one album only, Welcome to My Paradise, in 1978 before disbanding. After that hiatus, he put out a 1999 solo album, Rock the Bach. We're going to talk to Danney about his career, his life. Oh, this is incredible. We want to hear from you down in the chat. Let's do it.
Piling on the power chords and pure pandemonium. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse and to another Warehouse interview. Ladies and gentlemen, I am really just quite fit to be tied and very excited about this because tonight I want to welcome Danney Alkana here to the show. And I do have to give props to Sydney, who we've seen Sydney on from Slogans, Rock, and Metalware. And I always screw that up because I don't know what to call it. Extravaganza.
Yes, sir.
But it's fine. If it wasn't for Sydney, I would not know the greatness of your work.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. So I knew once I heard the tracks that Sydney played on the show. All right, everybody, if you're not familiar with it, we did a show, Little Known Bands That You Need to Know. Sydney was a guest. Your band, Alkana, was one of the bands presented. And the whole panel heard it and went, everybody was blown away.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I feel like I don't know how I'm going to do this interview, but I thought it was fantastic. A record that I think, or a band, in my honest opinion, that should have been gigantic.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to talk about that a bit. I don't know the story behind the band. I know very little because it's kind of it's not like an album that's really well known. I think in the circles of certain rock circles, it's one of those records that is considered a lost classic.
Yes.
I'd like to change that, of course, because we want to talk about it in the Warehouse. We want to turn people onto it. And this is why you're here. But we do want to talk about your career and other things. It's just not that record.
Okay.
I'm fascinated because as far as a guitar player, and I play guitar as well, fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff.
Okay.
I am just in awe of the fact that you would come on here and talk to me. So anyway, you're a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
Let me get my notes up so I know. I don't want to. I don't even know how to even approach this.
Okay.
But you've done a lot of different, like neoclassical type of music. You blended classical influences with rock elements.
Yes.
Born in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
You started with piano. What? How old were you when you started on piano?
I was 4. Classical piano. Studied classical.
So you started, Danney, as a classical musician.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is fantastic. So what were the works that when you were a kid, what was it about you that struck a nerve? What works were you into at the time, or what do you still think is like one of your big influences, or, you know?
When I was very young, my mom had given me a class. When I say collection, it was probably maybe 20 albums. When I say young, 3, 4 years old.
That's pretty young, Danney.
Yeah. And so, I'm playing Tchaikovsky and, all these different records in my room. And, I didn't know anything else existed. So by the age 4, she asked me if I would like piano lessons. I said, yeah, absolutely. And so I was mainly doing like Bach stuff. And I remember telling her one day, when I grow up, I'm going to be just like Bach. And
amazing.
Yeah. So by the time I was 8, I think the Beatles came out, and that that really changed my perspective of what I wanted to play. Classical music was, I mean, it wasn't hip.
Well, think about this, Danny. Think about a lot of those kids. Was your gateway like maybe seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan? Is that where it all started? Or
you bet. I saw him on Ed Sullivan, and it changed my world. I mean, I'm sure you've heard many other people say the same thing.
Exactly.
Who was it that said? I think it was Keith Richards said. The world went from black and white to color, or it was somebody big. I remember that. And that really takes the words out of my mouth. I mean, the world changed that day or that evening when I saw him on the old Ed Sullivan show. Absolutely.
So was it, even though you started out as a piano player or a pianist? Let's use the proper terms because, my God, you're doing classical music. At what point did you switch over to the guitar? Was it that night when you saw the Beatles play on Ed Sullivan that clicked bing bang? When was it when you started playing guitar?
Let's see. Before guitar, I was actually a drummer.
Okay.
There was a fascination with piano's a percussive instrument. A lot of people think it's a string instrument because there are strings, but it's really a percussive instrument. And I don't know why. It just the drums caught my eye when Ringo caught my eye, and I thought that would be cool. And so for about a year, I begged my mom for a drum set, and she ended up finally we got a little hi-hat and a snare drum, and I started off with that. And then a couple years later, I got a full kit, was playing in bands, doing the Doors stuff and some Hendrix and whatever was out at the time.
Right.
And Mr. Tambourine Man. And so I really loved that. But in the 8th grade, I guess I was 13. I went from being a straight A student to just making it student, and my full focus was girls and drums.
Oh no.
So I came home one day and they were gone. They were in the garage. That's where I'd go out to practice, and they were gone. I mean,
oh geez, you really did it then, didn't you?
Yeah, what happened? And she said, "You're going to have to ask your father." So I said, "Oh, forget it. I'm done with the drums."
Yeah.
And then one day, I was at a buddy's house. I think I was a junior in high school, and my interest went away with music. I loved to listen to it, and I also was a singer. I sang in the bands where I played drums. So I was over to Buddy's house, and his sister was a couple years older, and I hear this. I loved Hendrix. I loved Mitch Mitchell, and I loved Hendrix. Mitch Mitchell was the drummer. And I heard this music coming out of the bedroom, and who the hell is that? Because it's some brutal, aggressive guitar playing and this gravelly voice. Well, we went in her room to look at, the album and try to figure out, read the label as it's spinning. And she left the room. It was Jeff Beck, the Jeff Beck. And that's, as soon as I heard that, I said, oh my God, I imagine him being the singer and the guitar player, Jeff Beck. And I said, that's what I want to do. That's it right there. That's exactly what I want to do. Of course, I couldn't sing like Rod Stewart. I didn't have that gravelly voice, but and so that's I went straight home. I asked for a guitar, and I got one a couple weeks later. I'll
be darned.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how it really started.
So did you find the guitar, or did your parents?
No, my mom. I don't recall it being new. I think it was a secondhand Sears Silvertone guitar, and the guitar case had it a little 5-watt amplifier.
Oh, so it was I know what you're talking about. The guitar that's made by Dan Electro.
That's right.
With the guitar and the amp. Yeah, those were fine.
Yeah, I mean, it could get feedback. It had vibrato on it, and I when I ran out of fun things to do, I would try to invent different kinds of feedback, or just play with it. So I got a.
So what year was that? What year was that then? Probably.
I think that was 71.
So what was the whole Southern California? And you were what? 71? How old were you?
15.
So you couldn't go into clubs or anything or see bands yet?
No. The scene, besides the clubs, of course, were big parties where they have live bands, and you go watch the guitar player, and oh shit, that guy's good, And what got me understanding the guitar is I took a few lessons, maybe 5, 6, 7 lessons from the local hotshot. And he was a real Clapton nut. So I learned a bunch of Clapton songs, and I kept telling him, I want Jeff Beck. But he wasn't a Jeff Beck fan. He loved Clapton. It was a Jeff Beck Clapton thing at that time. You either were a total Clapton freak or you were a Jeff Beck freak. So I learned those songs, and because I wanted to learn Jeff Beck, I just said, I understand what I need to do now. I know what a bend is. I know I can find my way around on the fretboard. I'm going to learn some Jeff Beck. So I went home and I started, taking all my albums, buying as many as I could, and just learning song after song after song after song.
So were you one of those kids that would just go in your room and try to figure out stuff like you couldn't get enough of it?
Yeah,
I've heard those stories. You probably heard those stories of Eddie Van Halen, where all he would do is just figure out he could play every damn. What I understood is that he could play every Clapton lick off any Cream album for a note and sound just like Clapton. But it's one of those things where you're taking it all in.
Yes,
and you're just.
That's what makes that's really what develops a guitar player's personal style. You got Clapton in you. You got Jeff Beck in you. And I learned almost every album by Jeff Beck. Every guitar player you learn broadens your knowledge base, and then eventually, without trying to copy anybody or emulate anybody, your style develops, and you kind of hide their styles within your own. But a little thing will pop out here or there, or you use a vibrato bar or whatever it may be, and those styles you keep inside. But if you ask me to play, do something off the Blow by Blow album, yeah, definitely I could do it. Yeah.
Top notch.
Yeah.
So anyways, the 70s progressed. High school bands. Did you have like a whole lot of high school bands you played in, or?
I didn't. High school time was just woodshedding.
Right.
Mostly woodshedding. I kept woodshedding until I was about 17. I made my first it was a 45.
Okay.
For a black artist, singer out of Philadelphia, hired my band to the recordings for him, and so we did that. That was
what was the band's name that backed him up?
Albatross.
Albatross. All right.
Yeah. And we played everything, the Stones, Led Zeppelin, anything that I could possibly sing, because I was always the singer because nobody else could sing. And I really didn't like that too much. I wanted to just be a guitar player. It took too much away from my playing.
So were you guys playing out a lot at that point, or was it just
playing high school dances or junior high school dances, and maybe a kegger or something? just parties. And I moved away from that city, from San Bernardino, and I moved to San Diego. And I looked around for, bandmates, and finally ended up in forming another band called Pyramid. And we got an agent, Bing Crosby's nephew. I think his name was Steve. Yeah.
Steve Crosby?
Bing Crosby's nephew.
Okay.
And so we were represented by Crosby and Associates or whatever it was, and ended up going on, I think that was about a 6, 7, 8 month tour, about halfway across the U.S.
So what were you in this band? What were you guys playing?
We were playing top 40. Yeah, top 40 stuff.
All right.
And but in the meantime, I'd be learning Al Di Meola's or Chicorea's Return to Forever, or whoever I could get my hands on that I felt could benefit my playing, grow my knowledge base. I loved, I think it's a little premature, but Michael Shankar was starting to come in there, who I felt was probably one of the better rock players in the 70s. But anything I could put my hands on that was good, that I could learn from, that's what I did while I was woodshedding. Of course, I'd have to learn the cover tunes, but those only took a few minutes.
So how long did it take from this time period to you form the band Alkana?
Let's see. After we got back, okay, yeah. I ended up forming another club act that Sammy Hagar played in at one time, called Cock Robin. And
so Sammy Hagar was the vocalist for Cock Robin?
He was the vocalist for Cock Robin.
Guitar player. Oh, okay.
And there was another vocalist in the band named Steve Horde, who also played guitar. Well, he came and auditioned. We built up a nice set. Band was really strong. He shows up, and he was a great singer, very bluesy, kind of Paul Rogers singer. And we hired him and just named it Cock Robin because it already had a name, and started playing the clubs again right away. And then in Orange County, I'm from the Inland Empire, which is next door to Orange County.
Okay.
Between Inland Empire is about 5, 6 cities, and Orange County is about 5, 6, 7 cities. Orange County, if you were a club guy, you could go from one club to the next, play 2 weeks in one club, go to another, and probably within a year's time never repeat. That's how many clubs there were.
Oh my God. I bet it's not like that now.
Oh no, there were hundreds. There were hundreds of clubs. So one night, a good friend of mine, David, Laura, who I went to high school with, said, "Hey man, would you like to meet the bass player in War?" I said, "Hell yes."
Sure.
So I was playing. He said, "Meet him at such and such liquor store on E Street." I said, "Okay, man." I was playing 3 or 4 blocks down the road. And so I think it was 5 o'clock. I met him at this liquor store, and I really couldn't believe it. I shook his hand, and he said, "I heard you're, really good, and I'd like to come see you play." I said, "Well, I'm playing right down the street. We start tonight." And so he shows up, and I kind of whispered to the guys, what was the name of that song that was a Jeff Beck tune? It was a instrumental. Freeway Jam.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah.
So people could still dance to it, but I could shine. And I played it. It was wicked. I mean, and BB, his name was BB Dickerson, was standing right in front of me, looking up at me like that with a big smile.
Yeah.
And I did that, and then he asked me after we finished, "Do you have any originals?" I said, "Yeah, I got a couple." And so I asked the band. They said, "Yeah." So we played a couple originals, and he was just shaking his head and smiling, and after that he said, "I'll call you. I'll call you Monday," or whatever it was. I said, "Okay." So he calls me Monday, says, "I want to get you in the studio right now."
Oh, damn.
That, he said, "Give me a couple weeks." I had 2 original songs.
That's all you had, and he wanted to get you, and you said, "Oh, give me a couple weeks to get something together." And then,
yes, I said I got a couple songs. I left the band, the Cock Robin, the club band, and I brought the bass player with me because we were very tight. And I wanted to bring the drummer, but I don't know what happened then. But we got the 3 of us together. We were bass, drums, guitar, and we woodshedded for 2 weeks. I think we came up with a couple more songs, and then auditioned singers, and then practiced with the singer. I played the songs for the singer so he could write melodies and lyrics.
Yeah.
And immediately into the studio. Probably wrote three or 4 songs in the studio. And the owner of the studio was that gigantic guy in James Bond movies, Jaws. I can't
remember the actor's name, but yeah, I know you're talking about.
Happy Gilmore, the big guy, nailing his head.
He owned a studio?
Yeah, he had a studio. I think it was just outside of LA. It was in, the Orange County area.
Yeah. And
he was the owner, and I shook his hand, and it was like putting your hand in a freaking baseball glove. It was so big, it just wrapped all the way around my hand. And I said, "Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan." So yeah, we recorded the stuff. He was very excited. He got us a deal at MCA. And this is the part you don't know.
I don't know this.
No. At the time, I think War had sold over 50 million albums. You would have to fact check me on that, but it's around that.
Yeah, I don't know. See, we're talking, what year are we talking?
That was 78 when we.
Well, by then they probably did, because Why Can't We Be Friends was a big track.
Yes. Baby Brother, Slipping into Darkness.
Yeah.
Lowrider.
Lowrider was a big track. They probably sold a lot of records. So yeah, I get that.
So they had some power, and he went in and he worked out a deal. We did a test pressing for radio, and the local radio in the Inland Empire. Sid said it was in Orange County. It was in the Inland Empire. We had 2 #1 hits, and so we were headlining 3,000 to 5,000 seaters, in the area, and he went back into MCA and tried to renegotiate the record deal.
Because he thought maybe he could get a better deal.
Oh, yeah, we were.
Yeah, but Danney, how? This seems like this happened like overnight almost.
It did, bro. It happened within a month. Within a month after being in the studio, this whole thing exploded.
Did you already have the name of the band when you went in, or
yes,
how did
you did?
Teddy's barking. So you took. This is amazing, because if anybody's ever heard this record, we're going to get to it, but we're in it right now. I'm just saying. But at the time when you were in this tornado, you must have thought, "What is going on?"
Oh hell! Let me tell you, it's a fun story. The night that BB met me, what he told me before he left, he goes, do you realize, and I'm a young kid, I'm 20, 22 and a half.
Yeah, you're a kid.
And he goes, Chaz Chandler, a white bass player for the Animals, discovered Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
He goes, here I am. I was with Eric Burden, and I'm a black bass player, and I discovered the white Hendrix. And I went, holy crap.
Jesus.
Yeah, he made me, he really got my head spinning. And it just went that fast. I mean, it was like greased lightning, Grant. It just went like greased lightning. The first spin on the DJ told me the first spin that he played both sides of the album. He said they had so many callers they couldn't answer the phone.
I'll be darned.
And
well, when you were recording it, though, did you feel that you were onto something? Did you feel that there was something magical about this lineup, or what? You had to have felt something when you were in there, or were you just totally surprised that once it came out and the reception that you had was just overwhelming?
No, there was definitely a feeling.
You felt something.
We had a hold of something. None of us knew what it was. You know, in my head, I got this BS ringing about the White Hendrix thing.
Well,
you know,
that's a lot to take in.
You hear that from a peer that's been around a long time. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just went so well. I didn't know how we could possibly fail. We're headlining, like I said, 3,000 to 5,000 venues, seat venues. God. And we've got people like Angel opening up for us, or Legs Diamond. And one time, Rick James, which was a total mismatch. And it couldn't have went better. Then all of a sudden, when he went in to renegotiate, it fell apart as quick as it went together. Well, it didn't fall apart. There's more to the story. We got wrapped up in his lawsuit. The gentleman sued my manager for breaking his jaw, not just a tussle. He broke his jaw. And so BB said, I think it's better if I release you from my management contract, because you're going to be tied up in this lawsuit for some years.
Oh my God.
He goes, I want you to go with Steve Bernstein, who was the road manager for Pink Floyd. I want him to take care of you till I get this settled.
Okay.
And so I thought, that's great. You know, Pink Floyd, War.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So we went over his home. He was an English gentleman, very well spoken, had a beautiful apartment in Hollywood. Yeah, it might have been Beverly Hills. I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever.
He drove a 450. You know, he looked like he had money, and he represented us on several. I think we played about 10 shows, and of course, he always got all the money. And he'd always say, "Such and such is out there." It'd be Chrysalis or MC, or not CBS, or he just flat out give us some kind of BS name who was, watching the show. And he'd always say, I need the money to get them whiffed up. And yeah, I think you knew where I was going with that.
I know where you're going, because this isn't unusual.
No. We're dumb kids. And then one night I said, you know what, guys, what's awful weird is we've never met these guys that he says he's going to go whiff up. And so he told us they're going to follow me home. So I said, why don't we just stick our noses out the backstage door and watch him drive off. He drove off by himself. So we knew we'd been had. And we lost a lot of money. We were probably making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a show.
Well, What happened with that MCA deal, though?
That was dropped as soon as there was a lawsuit. I mean,
The
we
lawsuit killed it.
killed it, couldn't revive it. Now, years later, BB and I hadn't talked for 20 years.
Mhm.
78, 88, 98. 25 years we hadn't spoke. And BB called me, and he was at a friend's house, and he was asking the friends, called me and said, would you, BB's here, would you like to? I said, hell yes, man. I love BB. He's my brother. What he did, it hurt us, but I've always loved him. I mean, I never stopped loving him because he gave me my opportunity.
Mhm.
Yes, I'd love to talk to him. He told me, I don't know if it's the gospel truth. This is just secondhand information from him, that he had us another deal with Clive Davis. And he said Clive Davis was dancing around the room, demanding that we'd show up, get those boys in here, get them in here.
Wow.
And I had no idea, and he said he couldn't find me, couldn't get a hold of me. And we were about 100 miles apart, but, I don't know if that's true or not. And then 5 minutes after he told me that, he says, by the way, Michael Schenker, I'm going up to play bass for him tonight. You want to join? He needs a rhythm guitar player. And Sid did mention this to you. And I said, nah, no, I'm not into that.
Heck, I would have done it. Well,
at the same time, during this Alkana thing, another friend of mine who War had a mobile unit outside of their headquarters, a mobile recording unit. And Hummingbird, Jeff Beck's old group, the Jeff Beck group, was Rough and Ready and the Jeff Beck album. They were rehearsing in it or recording in it. I don't know which. I don't remember. And I was asked if I wanted to join. And I said, no, I got my own thing, man. I can't do that. Thinking because it was going so well, it was just.
Danney.
I know it. I know. And so after that, I stupidly, the boys got restless, the bass player, the drummer, the singer, because we've lost our deal. And you can only play and feel those venues. I mean, so many times, and you got to move on to another city because they're going to get bored of you,
right?
And in Los Angeles was far enough away to where we did play you asked about the Strip. We did play a lot of the Strip. And those.
Did you ever play the Whiskey or Rainbow?
Played the Starwood, played Troubadour. I don't remember the Whiskey if we played it. Not in that band. I played it in another band. Quite a few of those and packed them. But those are only couple hundred people, that you can put in that place.
Yeah.
And then for the bigger venues, not enough people in that area knew us.
Yeah.
We were on a local station that was a really good station.
Well, back in those days, though, everything was localized,
Yeah.
You go outside of your market or whatever, and no one knows who you are. It's not like today where everything's all homogenized and everything,
Yeah. So the guys ended up telling me they wanted to play clubs, and I said, "Oh, fuck no! Excuse my language.
No, you can say that.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue." And formed another band, called it Alkana. Stupidly, I should have dropped the name. But
is this the same? Okay, you're gonna have to clear this up. So, Welcome to My Paradise, had this already been released?
Well, what ended up happening with that, and I'm glad you asked, is BB, when the whole problem happened with BB
Yeah.
If you notice, it's released on Baby Bird Records. Everything that BB touched, his car was called BB Gun, his license plate. Baby Bird, BB.
Okay.
So it was his label. He ended up putting it on his label and selling them out of a head shop, and he sold about 30,000 copies
Out of the head shop.
out of the head shop.
Fantastic.
That was the only place you could get.
Holy crap, 30,000. Yeah, you go on Discogs or anything and look for that. That original pressing of that will cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, in the early 2000s. Yeah, early 2000s. A buddy of mine pointed out. He said, "Did you know your album's selling for $1,000 a copy?" I said, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, what are you talking about? Are you on crack?
So I go online and it's selling. This guy's got it for $1,100. This guy's got it for $985, and I said, "Holy shit!" And then we talked again, he and I, and he said, "You know what we ought to do is we ought to get the thing recut again.
Yeah.
And you should sign each one of those, number them and sign them. And, you can make some quick, fast money." And I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. But, let's let dead dogs lie. And
Did you own the masters? Who has the masters?
the masters are lost. I have original pressings that have never been played.
Mm-hmm.
Which can easily be, the master. I mean, people have the ones that you'll find on the internet are all bootlegged, all of them. The one that you heard on the radio show was probably bootlegged.
I don't know. That sounded pretty good. I got that off. Yeah, that was on YouTube.
Yeah. One of the.
It sounded pretty damn good, though.
Yeah, it did sound good.
So what happened to the tapes? Did it get lost at MCA? What happened?
No, BB, I think, as far as I know, BB controlled them, but I'm sure that I can retain all rights since I was the writer.
Yeah,
and I have probably the most powerful entertainment attorney in the business. So
are you saying that the albums that are out there now are boots?
Most of them, yeah.
Be darn.
My son gave me a Christmas present 2 or 3 years ago. He really thought he was doing me a big favor. He bought an album in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, these things were nowhere near Australia.
They were just at this head shop in
exactly
California.
Exactly. So, I told him that, I didn't want him to feel bad. I just acted very grateful, which I was. I love my son so much. But yeah, it was from Australia. Mm. So, I mean, when that $1,000 ticket went on those albums, everybody and their mother was selling them.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, anybody could get their hands on one wanted to turn it around.
So, yeah, I was in, after that, I reformed.
But it did come out. It did come out, sold 30,000 copies. Mm-hmm. And then were you still, so during that time period, I'm trying to just understand, were you still playing to those big crowds when that got released? Or did that coincide with the release of the record?
I really couldn't answer that.
Okay.
To be sure. I think I had already formed the new one. I believe. And we were playing to large nightclubs, but that were original, that would accept original stuff. But yeah, we're playing the Strip. But I should have got rid of that name. And in the interim, Michael Monarch, a friend of mine, a buddy of mine, a drummer, put a band together with Michael Monarch. Michael Monarch was the guitar player for Steppenwolf.
Okay.
And they opened for us for several shows. And eventually I ended up, the drummer and I were on the same wavelength, and we formed a band called Excalibur.
Right.
And the best band I was ever in. I mean,
So that was the best band. I'll be damned.
yeah, by far.
So did you guys get signed to anything, or what happened with Excalibur?
Bro, we were so fucking good. We sounded kind of like it'd be like the Rainbow album with Graham Bonnet.
Okay.
Down to earth. That's, I mean, almost, and maybe a little bit of Scorps in there, and we had a singer that was incredible. And we did get an offer from CBS London, and I was in communication this time. So
probably a good idea.
I was not going to let that ball drop.
So what happened there? What happened with that deal?
The drummer, who was also a great keyboard player and a co-writer, got cold feet. He got scared.
God's sakes.
And I just said, you know, when that happened, that's 2 strikes. I mean, fuck. Mm-hmm. I worked so hard, and all this time I'm woodshedding. You know, when I'm not at playing in front of somebody, I'm at home learning my craft still. I'm playing every day for 12, 14 hours. Every day. Every fucking day.
Well, that's what it takes to make it.
Yeah.
Just look at Eddie Van Halen. That's all he did.
Like
I said.
From the time I got up, I'd have a coffee, and that time I smoked cigarettes. Mm-hmm. I'd have my coffee, my cigarettes, and my guitar in my hand already. And by the time I went to bed, I'd put my guitar down and go to bed. Every day.
Amazing.
So I just was really heartbroken when he did that. And I decided that's enough for me. I'm not going to leave my destiny in somebody else's hands. Yeah. And I moved to San Diego. I was in LA at the time. Moved to San Diego, and I bought a small jewelry manufacturing business, and I've had quite a life, quite a career. If you want to hear the rest of the career, I'll tell you. If not, you want to stay in the music, we'll stay there.
No, we can go over, but didn't. So, okay. So what about that whole lawsuit thing with MCA and, well, was this like 81? Is this when you quit music and did the, changed your career?
Yeah. The late 81. Yeah. It was December of 81.
So how tough was that for that decision on you?
I told my mom, I almost want to commit suicide because it was all that time and all that effort and all the I knew who I was, and I knew what I had to offer. And I'm not bragging. It's just
I understand that was your passion. I get it. Totally get it.
That practices like I did. You haven't heard some of the Excalibur stuff, and I'll send that to you.
Yeah, I want to hear what. Whatever you've got, I want to hear it.
It was just devastating. It was devastating.
Well, what other things did you do in that time period, though? I mean, you took a break. I mean, you did get back into music. We'll get there, but I mean, what did you do in this time period before you started back up in the playing music again?
Well, what took the place of music was martial arts.
Okay.
I got into the martial arts, very much so. I have what's equivalent to a 6th or 7th degree black belt, let's say karate. Yeah. I studied Aikido, which is very stingy with their belts. You will not get a belt. Number one, you will not get a belt, period, unless you're 18 years or older. And the minimum rule is 5 years of study to get a black belt. So I studied 18 years. So it's a 3rd degree, almost a 4th degree. And that took that was my outlet, my art outlet.
Yeah, I get it.
I was a businessman. Like I said, I had a jewelry manufacturing company. for about 11 years. And then I sold that and moved. I ended up running 2 Japanese companies in Mexico. I ran one as the general manager, and the Japanese all left.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a large company. That was $88 million a year company. And then a good friend of mine asked me to build a company for him. And that was an electronic assembly company. And I enjoyed both of them very, very much.
But were you playing at all during this time, or did you just put the guitar aside? I mean,
didn't touch it, bro.
You didn't touch it for what, 14 years or so?
Yeah, I think it was 14 years. Didn't touch it. Didn't touch it. Didn't even look at it. I had a 64 Strat.
Yeah.
I think that's all I had was the 64 Strat. Yeah. And didn't touch it, didn't look at it, didn't do anything with it.
Well, what sparked your interest to get back into it? What happened there?
There were things, boy, there were things going on with the assembly company that I wasn't happy with. And I was asked to be the president of the big company, and the person that actually got me the job is the one that had the assembly company, and asked me not to take the job as the president.
No.
I said, fine, because I'm running his company. Mm-hmm. And so it ended up kind of I didn't have any contracts. We were friends.
Yeah.
And little by little, he ended up wanting to take over his own company. And I was fine with that. Yeah. Except it meant that I was left out in the cold.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, what am I really good at that, I can possibly, I've got a family now. I've got 2 kids and a wife and a house, a beautiful home.
You've got expensive. You got overhead at this point.
What do I do?
You're not a 22-year-old kid out there in the clubs.
And going without meals here and there and everywhere, So I picked up the guitar and started woodshedding while I was still running those 2 companies, and made a quick demo tape. And I didn't know what to do with it. And then a young boy that worked for me at the jewelry manufacturing place, who I told, get the hell out of here and go to college, dude. You're way too smart for this. Yeah. He did, and asked me while he was at school if I'd come and play for the music department. I said, sure. Okay.
Sure, why not? Sure.
And I went and played for the music department, and the teacher went crazy. The crowd were all standing up with their hands up in the air, I remember. And the teacher said, I never had this reaction before. This is awesome. Can I take my picture with you? And I said, sure. And it just put the stamp on,
You're back.
Yeah. I should be.
That's all it took. And you were going, oh, I like this.
That's exactly right, Grant. So I started, I made that tape. My friend who was in one of the class there, his brother was the president of Disney Records. And so I said, Kurt, do you think you could give this to your brother? I mean, and he said, sure, I'll do it, man. Of course. And so he sent it to his brother, and about a week or 2 later, his brother calls me. Mm-hmm. He goes, Danney, this is great stuff. He goes, but this is too wild for Disney. It was kind of like Satriani, and that's right in there. Didn't
quite fit.
No, doesn't fit Disney. But he goes, I have a friend that just left Capitol. Would you like me to forward it to him? And I said, yeah, please do.
Hey, can I pause real quick?
Please.
My bladder's about ready to pop out of my body.
Okay, brother.
All right.
Yeah, so he forwarded it to a company called Four Winds. That gentleman was the president of Capitol Records classical division for, I think he said 17 years. So I sent it, he forwarded it to him, and I waited for about 2 weeks, and I thought, he's not going to be interested in that. He's a classical guy.
So, but still at this point, the material that you were cranking out was that rock infused classical. You're using what you had
not yet.
Had when you were a kid, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. What was this material then? What was this then?
More like Satriani,
okay,
Eric Johnson, something like that.
I got it. All right.
And there were only three songs, maybe there are four on the demo. And I recorded them on this little shitty recorder. But the ideas were great. And after 2 weeks, I got a call from him, and he said, Danney, I really, really loved what you did. And he goes, I hear overtones of classical in your solos. Did you study classical? I said, yes.
Yeah.
So he said, I've always wanted to do a classical album. Here's the answer to your question, with a rock format. Would you be interested? I said, hell yes. He said,
it's right up my alley. What are you talking about? Yes.
And I said, yes, I think I can do it. No problem. So he said, I'll get you the contracts out. You should have them within 2 or 3 days. And I got the contracts, and they were just standard contracts, which I hate the word standard, because standard basically means the minimum amount acceptable. And here
you're signing your life away.
That's
or something.
Right. I'm going to put the max effort into it and give him the max, job, and I'm going to get the minimum amount acceptable. And I tried to negotiate it, but he just was no. And I told him that. I said, you're offering me the minimum amount possible, or and
this is not your first rodeo, is it, Danney? No.
So I ended up saying, okay, I'll do it. And, but I told him, I need you, on the liner notes, you really have to put Fender, you got to put Marshall, you got to put this stuff, because, later on down the line, I'm going to need some tour support.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to liner notes, I got to thank a bunch of my friends. He wrote up some kind of bullshit, phony baloney, because he didn't want the general public thinking I was the CEO of two Japanese corporations. Mm-hmm. He wanted them to think I was just a poor, starving artist. And at this point, I was not starving, but I was going to be if
you didn't get something going, you would
exactly.
be. Yeah.
So, the album was released. I got a lot of great comments. Steve Vai wrote me.
Yeah, was this Rock on Bach?
Rock the Bach, yeah.
Rock the Bach, 1999, right?
Yeah, featuring Danney Alkana, yes.
So before we go into that, how long did it take you to get this recorded? And
oh God, I was getting up at 3 a.m. My hours to do it were between 3 and 6. 6 o'clock, jump in the shower and drive to Mexico, from San Diego to Mexico.
Really?
And work there till 5 or 6, and then come back home. I get home about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And eat and go to bed, and start again at 3 a.m. So to answer your question, it took probably about 3 months because I did not know this technology, the new keyboards and all the technology that was involved in them. You know, I knew of course I know how to play. But what I ended up doing, the orchestration, is I took each section, like the bass section, the wood section, the horn section, and I did each one separately to make it sound more realistic than just playing chords. And that took quite a long time, and it took a lot of tracks to do a whole orchestra. And so. Yeah, once I got the sequences down, which are sequences are just notes that trigger the keyboards. I brought in a buddy to help me record it all, because that was another. I went into the digital age at the point, and I didn't know jack shit.
Well, you knew something, but
well, I knew how to do.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Danney, for God's sake.
And so he came in and he did a bang up job. I mean, he helped a lot, and we got the album recorded. Then we actually did our own master. I bought a mastering machine, and bought some high end compressors and stuff, and we mastered it. And he said, after we got it done, he said, man, if they send you anything that doesn't sound way better than this, reject it. So that happened. It was, I don't know, Four Winds sent it to some house that, big guys, but I think he was a classical guy, and he made the album sound like shit. So I rejected it, and he smartly sent it to a big mastering guy, and I can't remember his name, at Capitol, and he did a phenomenal job. I've read write-ups with him in various technical magazines, like Studio Gear magazines.
Robert Bozjian? No.
Yes, what starts with a V?
Yeah. Vosgien.
Yes, that's him.
He was he was a Capitol mastering engineer since like he's there now, but he worked from, trying to look, CMS Digital from 88 to 98, and then started to master at Capitol since 1998. Yep. Vosgien. Yeah.
That's him.
All right.
Yep. So yeah, we got that done. I was getting quite a few accolades. I mean, guitar players up the ass, and a lot of bands, local bands, calling me and asking me to produce them because they love the album. And so I did that for a little while, made some extra bucks, and then it went from that. It wasn't enough, and I went from that. I had 3 attorneys at that time.
Oh God!
And one of them said, "You should go into music publishing." I said, "Well, what do you do with that?"
That's what Paul McCartney told Michael Jackson, and look what happened there.
And exactly. And he said, the guy said, "I just sold one for $30 million, a small publishing company." So what? And so he said, what you do is you put together a library, and you get all these different artists together, and you license that stuff to film and TV. I said, okay. And so I was very well known on MP3 and respected. And it was easy to get about 80 artists / producers involved in my company immediately. And I had 2 other partners, but the one partner didn't do a lot, but provide some money. The other partner worked very hard and he was from the band. What was the name of his band? He was pretty famous at one time. He was there. Steve.
You know what the band was?
Ron Steele was the singer. Keel.
Oh, Ron Keel.
Ron
the
Keel.
Band Keel.
Yes. Brian was the third partner, and Brian did worked with distribution, and I worked with getting most of the artists. Brian.
What was his name? Brian
Hungola. His stage name was Brian J.
Brian J. I'm looking him up right now.
That's right.
Yeah, Brian Hungola, born in 1961. There he is. Boy, he had a lot of hair. I'll give him that.
He still
Jesus.
does.
Gee, Christmas.
For four guys.
That Keel put out a lot of records.
Yeah. They did The Right to Rock, which was a big hit for them.
1989.
Yeah.
Of course, he had the Keel album on MCA in 87, Arm and a Leg, which was on Vertigo, Keel, The Right to Rock on Vertical. So he's recorded a little bit, Danny. Yeah. He's recorded a little bit.
Yes. Quite a bit. So that went well for a while, and it went very well, actually. We went international, and we placed thousands and thousands of songs in film and TV all over the world.
Yeah, that's a good gig.
But there were some problems.
Of course there were.
Yeah. One partner was throwing big Coke parties.
That would be a big problem.
And the money was getting burned up. And then one day I went to I wrote payroll checks, and there wasn't anything in the bank.
Yeah.
So Brian and I had to go fend for ourselves. And that's how, but that we were offered 1.8 million the third year we had that company. Yeah, can you imagine that?
No. Well, I can imagine it. Danny, that's all I can do is imagine it.
To nothing. Yeah.
To nothing.
So, yeah, and that that really screwed up my life. My wife left me. My kids went with my wife, and all the rest of all that stuff.
It's like a textbook. It's like textbook novel or something. Yeah.
Not anything unusual.
Not anything unusual, but everything went to hell, and you were abandoned. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had a good run with playing again. I had a good run with producing a few bands. I had a great run at licensing music to film and television all over the world, and still get a few bucks here and there.
Yeah,
it is. Brian used to say, "It's a gift that keeps on giving," and he's right. I mean, dude, you get on a few good shows that are syndicated, and everywhere that show is being played, whether it's Mexico or China. Within a few months, you're going to, a
check will come through.
That's exactly right. So I would have loved to have continued that. Boy, was a great gig.
Always someone there to ruin it. Ruin the party.
Yeah.
Too much partying. But, looking at your career and everything, I mean, what... Is there anything that you would have done over again? I mean, you went through a lot of highs, you went down to a lot of lows, you've been up and down.
If you've never had a failure, you never tried. Yeah. So, I tried really hard, and I'm very proud of my of what I've accomplished. Whether it be in straight business, I had one of the largest jewelry manufacturers in this city, good sized, worked for one very, very large Japanese corporation and ran it. Uh, the publishing company was not large. It was a small to medium. I would say we had about maybe 700 tunes in that in our catalog, which isn't really that big, but it was big enough to generate some good money.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's. I probably, if I could do everything over, I might have become an engineer.
Recording engineer or engineer?
Engineer.
Yeah.
Because when I look back at my failures, there's always somebody that I'm not going to blame other people. I made some bad choices with like partnership. But yeah, it's been, in the music business, it was, my first one was my manager. Second one was a co-writer. And it just, I seem to do well by myself. I have good success by myself.
Yeah. It seems like based on your story, that anytime that you were really collaborating or you had a band or you thought everything was golden, it just didn't quite work out the way you thought it would.
That's right. So you dug into Rock the Bach, huh?
I looked it up. I don't have it yet. I've not heard it. I'm looking at it right now.
Listen to Spring. I think it's the second track.
Okay.
That pretty much showcases my talent pretty well.
All right, I'll check it out. I mean, the whole goal of this program is that, well, like I said, if anybody tuning into this show, Sydney, who's a regular on the show, we did a show called Little Known Bands That You Need to Know, and he presented the band Alkana on the show.
Yep.
Which was, obviously, Danny's here, which was released in 1978.
Yes.
The album, Welcome to My Paradise. So we played a couple of tracks on there, and it was the whole panel just went, oh my God, because I hadn't heard it.
How did it go? I mean, it
went great. Everybody thought it was fantastic. Cool. This is why I had to talk to you. I was so taken by your work and your guitar playing, the songwriting, the playing of that band, and we already talked about it, that certain band had that certain...
It had a little magic to it.
It had magic, and it comes across on the record. And I went, oh my God. Oh my God. One of those things. Now I just need to really get my hands on one, but everything's so damn expensive. I just have to monitor.
What kind of prices are you seeing?
Oh my God. Oh, Danny. Good Lord Almighty.
$50.
Let me go backwards. Hold on. Hold on. Except Discogs is all screwed up because they don't have you connected to that band. They have you as a solo artist. And then when I look up the band, do you come up? No, they don't even have you listed in Alkana. It just says hard rock band from San Bernardino featuring Jack Rucker, later Warlord, and it just has Jack Rucker as a band member. Oh, and then you don't come up. Oh, there's Jack. So a lot of this is kind of sketchy on the amount of information. So if I look at that record, let's see what we've got going on here. There's the Baby Bird Records pressing, 1978. And according to this, there's 4 versions. Baby Bird, and there was in 2012, it came out on Acid Nightmare Records.
That's bootleg.
Then there was a repress on Acid Nightmare in 2016.
Bootleg.
In Australia, Welcome to My Paradise came out on Survival Research.
There you go, bootleg.
My God.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy them. It's still not cheap, and it's a bootleg. And, Discogs frowns on bootlegs, but all these on here are like $61, $74, $142. Let's look at the original. See, I want a Baby Bird if I can get it, because that's going to probably sound, obviously that's going to sound the best. If you can find one. Oh, there are some on here. But Danney, this is going to blow your mind. There are 3 Baby Bird pressings on here. One, the media is near mint to mint minus. The sleeve's in very good condition, $1,100.
There you
There's
go.
another one, $1,925.
$2,000. Shit.
There's one in Greece that's $2,000.
Jeez, dude. There you go.
Only 41 people on Discogs own the Baby Bird pressing. There's 382 people that want it. Average rating for this record, people give it a 4.42 out of 5, which is damn good. The lowest, here we can look at the last version that sold was in May of 2025, and it sold for $1,011.
Are you kidding?
Yep.
Dude.
The one before that sold for $1,020. And then before that, we had one for $375. So something's going on. There's a buzz evidently going on. And now this record is shot up in price.
My God.
The lowest was $23 back in 2012.
That's incredible.
Then it jumped to $300 in 2015, $400, and it's just
crazy.
It's just going crazy.
Crazy.
So I would say that there definitely is a market for it.
Yeah, definitely.
My
Maybe.
God. There is definitely a market for this record. I applaud you that you are have this cult status and everybody wants his record. But Discogs, I do believe, needs to update some things, because you're not even listed on this record. You're listed as a solo artist for Rock the Bach.
If you just type in Alkana.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but you're not listed.
I know on the AI it talks about I think it's Sabbath and Deep Purple being kind of like the beginnings of heavy metal, but it does mention me as also in that mix.
Okay. Well, sometimes you got to double check Discogs, because not everything's always updated, and a lot of people will go in and correct things, and they're so backlogged with the whole thing of updating these albums and artists and stuff. So, there it is. Baby Bird Records, 1978. Not a cheap record by any means.
Holy smoke.
Holy smoke. I'm looking at the album cover. Wow, look at there. There you are. You guys looking good on the album on the back cover. Or is that the inner sleeve?
It's the inner sleeve.
Yeah, the inner sleeve, and then the
Got
back
the
cover's got a silhouette of you guys.
Yes.
The Baby Bird record logo is fantastic.
BB had money. I mean,
BB was doing whatever BB needed to do to make it happen. But there you go. I'm just here. I just want to. I don't know how anyone can hear it. Evidently, you'd have to go to. I don't know if you can stream it on Spotify anywhere.
Yeah, Spotify you can, but once again, that's as far as I know, it's got to be a bootleg on there, because I didn't there. I've never put my any of my music on the internet. Never, not one tune, and I'm all over YouTube.
Well, be cautious, but you can go listen to those tracks somewhere. But I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to keep I'll never find a Baby Bird pressing, Danney. You kidding me? God. That's rare. Than how many were pressed? Do you know?
Well, I don't know how many were pressed. BB told me about 30,000 were sold. So, you know,
Fantastic.
we're talking what, 78, 88, 98, 208, 218
Yeah,
years, 50 years ago, bro.
I know. Well, we're
You,
stuck in the time. We're stuck in the past here in the warehouse.
you and I in the day would never listen to 50-year-old music. Never.
Yeah, but the
You
thing
know,
is that listening to 50-year-old music in the 1970s and listening to it now, it's not much difference because now everything's shit and all the great stuff was in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s and just saying. But
you're right. But in our day, I mean, I wouldn't listen to 20s music at all. Of course, I was
no.
listening to 300-year-old music.
Yeah, you're a little bit different. We can't use you as an example, Danny.
Yeah, no, that's
So
true.
anyway, what's happening right now? We'll wrap this dog up. What have you been doing now? What's the latest with you?
I work for 3 grants from the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an administrator, and not the administrator. I have a boss, but yeah, we help first generation low income kids get through high school
Mm-hmm.
and get into college. And I'm going to pat ourselves on the back for that because I think we've had close to 2,000 kids graduate, and a little more than half of those have gone on to a higher education. And you can name any college in the U.S. We probably have had a kid go through one of those schools.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one young man that really will always stick with me. They were living in a hotel, and he would do his homework in the bathtub. And he was a very shy kid, but evidently a genius because he went on to get a master's from MIT in engineering. Yeah, so that's pretty gratifying to take those kids that are their mom and dads never went to school and they don't know the importance of school, and see them get through high school and into a university. It puts a smile on your face. It's not a big money making ordeal, but
satisfying.
It is satisfying. It's gratifying. Yeah. To see those kids get through school and do better in their life. So that's what I'm doing right now.
All right. Sounds great. Well, Danny, I do want to thank you for coming on because I just wanted to talk after we play. I just couldn't believe how freaking great that is.
Thank you, bro. Could I mention?
Holy crap. Go ahead.
I want to thank you for bringing me on your show. I've seen your show a couple times, and dude, I mean, it's a great show. It's a great show. You have on great guests, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know, but Sid invites me on his show quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Sid's metal extravaganza slogans.
Rock and metal extravaganza.
So I'm on there quite often, but I realize your show's a lot bigger, and I just want to thank you for this opportunity of having me on your show.
You're welcome.
I feel that I hope again someday that we can do something else.
Sure. And, I'd have you back on in a second.
Okay, I'd be happy to come on.
Fantastic.
Brother. Be happy to come on.
All right.
And just thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you and reminiscing all those years. I'm 99.99% sure that what I told was accurate because you know, the
Sounded
first time
good to me, Danny. Sounded good to me.
When Sid was asking me, I was always looking up in the air like, because I'm trying to remember back 50 years ago. And,
I think you did just fine.
Thank you, brother.
But anybody out there that has the Alkana album, Welcome to My Paradise, if you want to sell me that for like 10, maybe I'd probably give you $20 for it.
Cool.
If you can set me up with that, but I only want a mint copy, I'd appreciate it, anyone out there. The search continues for it.
Awesome, Grant.
But it's nice to know that what was out there. Well, I don't know if it's nice to know. It's kind of sad that what's out there are bootlegs. I mean, I guess you could be flattered, but then again, you're not getting any income from it. And
I could change that. I mean, one phone call to my lawyer, that could all get changed right away. If I get a hair up my butt, I'll do that. And yeah.
Well, it just seems like the amount of there must be. I just don't know how to do. It's not really my expertise, but I'm thinking based on the prices of these records, even the bootleg pressings, sounds like there's a market for this record out there.
Yes. They should be numbered and signed by me. And sold for $50 or $100, never $1,000. That's ridiculous. That's
well, how many copies of Welcome to My Paradise do you own?
About 4, I think.
Yeah, good for you. There you go. Well,
never been opened.
I wouldn't open them unless you were going to do some kind of re-release. I don't know. They could probably do a damn great transfer of it.
Yes, I'm sure.
I don't know. I'd think about it. I think there's a market for it because I think people want it. And I just wanted to really, now that I've done it, I don't know, like I have a big reach on anything, but my channel is all about talking about these bands and these artists that really didn't get a fair shake. And I think the Alkana band didn't get a fair shake. And I think this is one of those records that I think everybody needs to hear. So I will do my best, Danny, to spread the gospel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And maybe something will happen.
Yes. Well, with the joint effort of we'll get something done here.
I don't know. I would think that those master tapes are out there, though, right? They're real masters.
Yeah, but I think with technology today, I like you said, I think from an original pressing, I think we can come pretty damn close because the other stuff coming off, I think CD or which are all bootleg because there was no such thing as a CD in my day.
Right.
Well,
I would say that the original, based on what I know, if you're going to do any kind of needle drop, you would want it off of one of the Baby Bird pressings because that's the closest you're ever going to get
to the master.
Master tape. And these other bootlegs, God knows what they've done and processed them with. I don't know. I just think that there's a market. I would just think about it, Danny.
All right. I will.
I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I could see maybe this coming out on Rock Candy or Cherry Red or Bad Reputation. Bad Reputation out of France would be a good label. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could get something worked up.
It sounds like it. I mean,
it's fantastic. Kids, just go out and listen to it on YouTube. I'm going to let Danny go. I could talk to Danny all night.
Thank you, brother.
Please like, subscribe. I'll get Danny back on here. I've got an idea that I can send you an idea. Well, you would be a good one, like little known bands that you should know. It'd be great to have you on that show like Sydney was. You could come up with 3 bands that you think people should be turned on to, 2 tracks apiece. And I think that'd be a fun show. I'm sure you can come up with 3 bands that people want to hear.
That's very possible.
I know it's possible. We'll see. I might know the guy that might be able to get you booked for that.
Okay, Grant. Thank you.
Anyway, Danny, thank you, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you. You've had quite a life.
My pleasure.
Guitar
My pleasure.
aficionado.
Thank you for having me, Grant. I really appreciate this opportunity.
All right, everybody. Please like, subscribe. Go check that out. Please leave a comment down below when you go find the Alkana album. Welcome to My Paradise, or heck, Rock the Bach.
The Bach.
Danney Alkana. Go out and let us know about Rock the Bach.
Yes.
If you've heard that too, we want to hear from you down below. All right, Danny, take care.
Take care.
I'll be in contact. Keep it real. We'll see ya.
Take care, Grant.